So, about 4 months ago, I did a video as soon as the merger between Discover and Capital One took place, letting you guys know what to look for in the next coming months with that new marriage. And so, in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the updates that has already taken place since the merger has began. I'm going to also talk about the Capital One 360 savings account litigation if you may or may not be affected to get any part of that $425 million lawsuit. So we're going to talk about that in this video. So if this is your first time joining, my name is Starr Carter, and on this channel, I do talk personal finance. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please consider being a subscriber. Make sure you guys cut on your notification. That way you don't miss out on new content, and give this video a thumbs up. That way it gets pushed out to other viewers that might want to see this as well. And guys, give me a comment and let me know what you think about these changes and if these changes has already affected your account with Capital One. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's look at the first major thing. And really, the only thing that I have seen so far is that Capital One is moving their debit cards over to the Discover Pulse Diners Club network. And already there has been some backlash from current debit card holders that has their checking accounts, and they are not happy about it. And so let's take a look at something that I did see on the Reddit forum. So it says change in card service. Whose bright idea was it to move debit cards to Discover? Discover is not taken everywhere. Small businesses may not take Discover because their fees are higher than Mastercard or Visa. With the F Capital One, great way to hurt small businesses. All right. And then there was another one that I saw, and this one says, my Capital One issued card keeps getting refused everywhere due to the switch to the Discover network. This is out of hand now. I have a Capital One bank account. From what I gather, Capital One is now on the Discover network. I've tried using the card at numerous merchants and it gets refused. I just now tried to pay Wells Fargo $5 to close an account and pay for an outstanding balance, and it did not go through. Then I tried to make an Amazon purchase, again declined. This is the last in a string of attempts to use my card at various places in the United States over the last 2 weeks where it has been denied. I have even gone so far as to open up a new bank account at Chase so I can close my Capital One account. I am disgusted after 15 years of banking with them, quite frankly. Maybe it's an overreaction, but still, laugh out loud. Never mind the fact that I spent half the year in Italy and sometimes will use my debit card for things declined or not accepted anywhere. I didn't ask for the change to Discover Network. Is anyone else having issues or is it just me? So there's a lot of people already that are not in love with this new change that has taken place with the debit cards on the Capital One and Discover network. So let's unpack it and let's talk about that part of it. So this is from the Capital One website saying new debit card, same great bank. See the details on your new card and prepare for a seamless switch. So as you can see, everybody is not feeling that seamless switch. So here's what you need to know. What's the same? Your account number and PIN will stay the same for a smooth transition, and you'll still have many of the same account benefits. Everyday use, your card will be widely accepted like it is today. Keep an eye out for Discover, Pulse, or Diners Club International logos. What's new? Your debit card will have a new 16-digit card number, 3-digit security code, and expiration date. And you can check out the FAQs for helpful information and guidance to help you transition to your new debit or ATM card. And so, guys, as you can see, a lot of people already are not happy about the switch. And so let's talk about why this switch even took place. Let's talk about that. Um, because I don't think a lot of people know that this is a strategic move on behalf of Capital One. And the reason why is because Capital One is able to skirt around the Durbin Amendment and regulation because what the Durbin Amendment does, it was passed in 2010 under the Dodd-Frank. And so it caps debit card interchange fees um, to large banks with 10 billion in assets to a reasonable level, right? And so what Capital One is able to do now, being with Discover, and Discover is now being Capital One. Discover is what they called a closed loop network. Discover and American Express, they are closed loop networks. And that means that they are a issuer and they are a network. So when you go and you use your debit card or your credit card with the Discover or American Express logo, those people, the banks, they make more money in interchange fees because every time you tap, swipe, insert, whatever, the banks make money off of that. That's what interchange fees. And so with them moving it to the Discover network, they do not have that cap anymore with them being on Visa and Mastercard because their debit cards were on the Mastercard network. And so they no longer have that cap. So they can make more money off of their debit card swipes and taps and all that kind of stuff. Now they can make more money and they're no longer subjected to that rule of the 10 billion in assets. So that was one thing. They're going to make more money in this. But if Capital One really and truly wants to keep their customers happy, they will also pass some of that money that they're going to make, back to their customers in rewards, like debit card rewards for them using your card so many times a month, getting cash back or being able to convert points or whatever for travel or, hotel stay or something like that. So they need to really not just pocket that extra money that they're going to make with this closed loop network with Discover, but even if you were to take a portion of that profit, you should also give some of that back just to make your customers that has been a account holder with you with a checking account to make them happy, because right now there's a lot of pushback with this merger because people are not able to use this card everywhere. If you're in the United States, you have a better chance of using the Discover card, but internationally, no. And then there's also been people that have said that they've had issues with trying to transfer money using this card as well. And so because these transfer often use debit card rails, some merchants or payroll services might no longer support instant transfers using the new card. You still have options like ACH, which could take 1 to 3 business days, depending on your bank. And so I've already seen people on Reddit complaining about not being able to do instant transfers like through Venmo and Cash App and all those kind of things, since their card is no longer a Mastercard. It is on the Discover network. So those are just some of the things that I have seen, out here in the financial streets that people are not happy about. Again, this is a strategic business move on behalf of Capital One. And in my video, I predicted that they were going to move over to that network because it would be, to their advantage to move over to that network. But I said credit cards was going to phase in like in 2 years, whatever. We were going to start probably seeing a phase of them starting to move some of their credit cards. But I did not even think about their debit cards. I really didn't, because I've had a checking account with them in the past and a savings account with them in the past. But I stopped using it because it's just more convenient for me to use my local bank and my local credit union, where I can go in a branch and make a deposit and that kind of thing. And so I really just kind of had it on the back burner. So I really wasn't thinking about it, that them starting with the debit cards first. But it makes sense, because if anything is going to cause any friction, let it be on the debit card side where it's your money, versus if it's on the credit card side and it's their money and they can be potentially losing out on consumer interest from their purchases. So they don't want that to happen. Okay. All right. So let me know, guys, if you are a Capital One banking customer and have you got your new card. I don't think that they're going to do a mass reissue. I think as your cards are going to expire, you will get the new card with the Discover network with the like I said, Discover, Pulse, and Diners Club network on the back of the card, and that's where you'll be able to use the card and where the card will be accepted. Now, as far as ATMs is concerned, you guys, you might want to check their website to see which ATMs that you would be able to use. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use the Pulse ones, but it is going to cause a little issues because we don't like change and people are used to being able to do the things they need to do without any hassle. So I predict that they are going to lose some customers over this for sure. All right, guys. So let's talk about the litigation next. So depending on if you've had a savings account, a 360 savings account, you might have got this in the mail. I did. Um, and to be honest with you guys, I really was not going to cover this, but somebody in the comment of one of my neighbor Fed videos, like, why do you keep talking about neighbor Fed? Need to be talking about that Capital One lawsuit. Well, because, and the reason why I didn't want to cover it is because it's not going to affect a lot of people. If you did not have the savings account with them, then it's not gonna affect you. You're not gonna get anything. And to keep it 100, I really don't think that you're gonna get anything anyway if you didn't keep a lot of money in the 360 account. And so that's gonna like narrow down. But since we're already talking about some updates and changes, I just thought I'd just throw it in this video. And so on the card, in which I'm gonna pull up the website too. This is the litigation website. So the card that I got, it says if you are or were a Capital One 360 savings account holder at any time from September 18th of 2019 through June 16th of 2025, you are eligible for benefits from a 425 million class action settlement. And so it tells you that who is included. You're receiving this notice because records show you are a member of the settlement class. All persons or entities who are or were 360 savings account holders from that time period that I just mentioned. And so what does the settlement provide? The settlement provides 425 million consisting of a 300 million settlement fund to be used to make cash payments to 360 savings account holders in relation to their historical account balances, and two, 125 million to be used to make increased interest payments going forward for customers who continue to maintain their 360 savings accounts. You do not need to file a claim to receive the cash payment. If you do nothing, a check will be mailed to your last known address as long as your payment is $5 or more. You will not receive a mailed check if the amount of the check would be less than $5. But if you choose an electronic payment method instead, you will receive your payment no matter the amount. You are therefore strongly encouraged to choose to receive your share of the settlement fund as electronic payment instead of a check by visiting www.capital1360savingsaccountlitigation.com. And that's what you're seeing right now on my screen is that website. The deadline to choose an electronic payment is October the 2nd of 2025. The amount and timing of your settlement benefits would differ depending on whether your 360 saving account is open or closed as of October the 2nd. Please see the loan form notice at www.capital1360savingsaccountlitigation.com for more details regarding how the payment amounts will be calculated. And again, guys, if you didn't have a savings account with these people or probably kept a pretty good amount in your savings account where it would be worth your time, you know how these lawsuits like this, these class action type of lawsuits, it just depends on what kind of money you kept in it, if it's going to be worth your time. But it does says that if you want to get your money, regardless of the amount, you would have to do it electronically. If not, you would have to meet $5 at least to get a check. So there you have it with that. And so again, I didn't cover this a lot, and I really wasn't considering covering it because, the CFPB was trying to go after them prior to the new administration because they saw where they were doing it since like 2013. So it's been going on, but they dropped that lawsuit back in February because of the new administration and all the changes that has happened to the CFPB. That litigation got dropped. And so now they're only including between September 18th of 2019 and June of 2025, when in in reality, it went all the way back to 2013, and that's where the CFPB was trying to really get into their pockets. And so I feel like if that litigation had continued on forward and hadn't got dropped because of all the changes that took place with the CFPB being dismantled through Doge and all that stuff that's going on with the new administration trying to gut that agency for whatever their motives were, because the CFPB was going after a lot of their business practices, especially Mr. Musk. And so I would say that it not only affected things that they didn't want them to be scrutinized for, but also a lot of the litigations for things that consumers were entitled to, including the lawsuit that was going up against Navy Federal for their overdraft, overcharging an overdraft fee. So that also got dropped. And so when you got a lot of things like that going on and you're not making these banks be accountable for their activities and things that they're doing against their customers and their consumers, then it's kind of hard for me to just come on the channel and be like, hey guys, y'all gonna be maybe getting some money, because you just don't never know if they're going to be made accountable anymore. And so I got this card in the mail or whatever, and I did have a savings account with them for a long time. I was letting like a portion of my paycheck go in there because it was supposed to be a high yield savings account. So we'll see. I don't even really remember what kind of balances I kept in there. It has been so long. And then I closed it probably like maybe a year or two ago. And so either who, I really don't know. When I had the account, it used to be Ing. I don't know if y'all remember that. EING Direct, Ing Direct, and then Capital One bought out the Ing, and then it went to the 360 savings, and then the 360 checking. So like again, guys, I don't expect this to be no big windfall, not on my behalf. Now I don't know about other people and what they keep or kept into that account. So hopefully some other people actually get a good chunk out of this 300 million settlement fund. But like again, I don't think this is gonna be a big thing for a lot of people, especially the people that visit my channel, to be honest. But since somebody asks, I will oblige. Okay. So again, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about the changes so far with like the debit card. What is y'all predictions when they do decide that they want to roll out this on the credit card side? Do you think they're going to try to work out all the kinks and everything with the debit card before they try to roll this over into their credit cards? Which I don't really see them rolling this over to the Discover network on their major ones like the Venture card or the Venture business card. I think they're going to keep those cards on the Visa networks because they are their travel cards. They're more high-end cards. They may, if anything, I think that they would move the Quicksilver maybe to the Discover card, especially maybe the secured version of the Quicksilver. That's like my prediction, or they might do that to the Saver card. Those two, I could see them maybe switching one or both over to the Discover network, but I really don't see them moving the Venture card or even the Spark business card. I don't see them moving the Spark business card either over to the Discover network. But that's just what I think. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Also, let me know if you all received the little postcard in the mail about this lawsuit. I will drop this link in the description box just in case if you are. And if you are, you don't have to do anything unless you want to get that money, if you're owed anything, direct deposit versus getting a check in the mail. Okay. All right, guys, let me know what you think. And I do appreciate all the love. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video.